Like you, I love good, fresh. I'll tell you about this treasure in Roseville called Maverick roast beef. Mavericks has the best roast beef sandwiches I've ever had. Made fresh every order. Add fries or ordered into a winning combination. Maverick real roast beef. Check out their website. Maverick or on Lexington Road.
Hi, this is Frank Brown of Minuteman Press Uptown with a question for our listeners. How important are business values to you? When you need high-quality digital print, it matters who you're with. You see, Minuteman Uptown is unique. We're one of the only union print shops in Minnesota providing our team with living wages and benefits. We believe in second chances for justice-impacted individuals who want to contribute to the community, and we are active in local issues. We've been in the streets standing up for racial, social, and economic justice. At Minuteman Uptown, our mission is to connect all communities through technology-driven print solutions. An example of that mission is when I moved Minuteman Uptown to North Minneapolis. We're invested in this local community, and we help small businesses and local organizations throughout the Twin Cities reach their audiences. Reach out to Minuteman Uptown and partner with a printer that shares your values. Call us today at 612-870-0777 or visit us at mpuptown.com. That's mpuptown.com.
Hey, Cudahy to all my friends and relatives in four directions. This is Robert Pilot of Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake. I'm here to ask you for support. Finding honest Native-centered news is not easy. But with your support, we're able to provide accurate information about Standing Rock, Line 3, violations, and COVID-19 in our Native communities. Please visit Native Roots Radio Network on Patreon and donate if you can. That's Native Roots Patreon, PE, and thank you for your support.
With your AM 950 weather, I'm Patrick Lilia. Showers and thunderstorms tonight with a low of 51. Then Tuesday, more rain and storms.
Hey, we have a little technical problems at the mothership, and we'll be right back with you rebooting the computer. And I hear the computer's really hot. No, I don't know, but just thought I'd let them know. Here we're back on with. Looks like we're back on. Yes, cool. Hey, we discuss local and national news and events, and as you know, Chujunk, Native issues are human issues, and human issues are Native issues.
Yes, they are. Everyone go check out JS Bean Factory in St. Paul off of Randolph Avenue for all of your coffee beans and necessities.
Well, it's a sad day in Canada and all around really Turtle Island here. And hey, Wendy, how you doing? Let me unmute you here. You popped up on the screen here. Looking good here.
Thank you.
It's our buried relatives that are up in Canada, and we acknowledge them, Haley and Wendy, on this day. And it's, let's turn everything orange. It's an Indigenous Children's Remembrance Day here on Native Roots Radio in Canada and all over Turtle Island.
Yeah, and I think it's a really good reminder to just everyone listening. every single one of your Indigenous friends or any Indigenous person you know, either they're a residential school survivor, a survivor's child, a survivor's grandchild, or sometimes all three. Can be every single one. So we just remember all those that lost their lives in residential schools and never made their way home.
Well, how we're related to is our Gaga, which would be your great grandma and my grandma,
Yeah.
was in residential school, and Howard McKee Jr. went and kidnapped her and stole her out of there, and she was only there for a short time, but
Yeah, thank
still,
goodness.
still we have remembrance and residuals of that in our family and a lot of Native families. We're still healing here in our family.
Yeah. And I know everyone talks a lot about generational trauma and how trauma can be passed down into families to the next generation until someone is, strong enough or resilient enough to take on those traumas and heal not only themselves, but the generations before them. And I just want to say, proud of you, all of those that are doing that and, healing from this trauma that's lasted so many generations.
And it's rough work, and, it's not just Native Americans, but today we're talking about it, but all families go through some kinda trauma. I mean, you think
Yeah.
about, the people that came to this country, there was no fresh water, so they were all, like, drinking, brandy on the way here from their other countries all over the world in the olden days, and we got a lot of friends out there that have alcoholism and all that in their families too, and so we just gotta, you know, talk about trauma and that we all experience it and we all have to have some empathy towards everybody's trauma.
Yeah, that's a really good point. And another thing to remember is, no matter where you're from around the country, we were all kind of colonized, just different times, and that affected everyone.
Well, I know Wendy's Italian families was colonized because we were all at one time, you know, in tribes and believing in Mother Earth and sacred animals and all those things that Native Americans uh, try to bring back or keep intact. And I know everyone's been colonized, Wendy.
Yes, they have. Our family back in Italy, like you said, came over and, we were called guineas and wops and y yeah, culture was taken away and I mean, not like you guys, though. I
Right.
mean, you guys were killed and your children were stolen from you, so it's a little bit different.
Yeah, we gotta acknowledge it though too, and the big acknowledgement for us today on Native Roots Radio too is up in Canada.
Yeah.
Because was it 3, 4 years ago, Wendy, they kept on finding bodies outside these
Mhm.
schools.
Yeah, and graves.
Yeah,
You know,
unmarked, yeah.
like you guys said, your grandmother and great-grandmother, it's not that long ago that this
Mhm.
all happened. People
Right.
think that this happened, like, hundreds of years ago, and it didn't. It's
No.
just, you know,
Right,
1 or 2 generations ago.
right. I read, somewhere on Facebook, a person that's roughly my age was basically saying he was first generation that wasn't in boarding school.
Yep.
So you're right,
Wow.
absolutely right.
Mhm.
And those are things that we talk about too, Wen and Haley, is that, we, in 1978, Native Americans were, able to practice their own religion,
Mhm.
and, that's a mind blower when you tell people that because it's not taught in schools.
Yeah. It's really amazing.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Still
It's
and
like
still met with so much resistance. Native Americans trying to practice their spirituality, whether that's in school or just in public. And I just saw an article actually today, and I forget where it was, but there was some person was, I think, smudging and they were expelled from school due to, and they called it a satanic ritual, which is just very
Wow.
not true.
Well, what people don't understand, they're afraid of, and that's exactly what happened there, it sounds like.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's 2024, but, I was never taught anything about Native Americans other than, Columbus discovered us in 1492, That's the only really history that I was ever taught in the 60s and 70s when I was in high school and grade school.
Yeah, probably same. I don't remember too much of Native education, and now we're looking at, in Minnesota at least, where it's a required thing to be teaching in schools, which is, moving in a good direction.
Yeah, we'll see how that pans out, because I'm sure where you're around tall buildings it will be taught, but once you get further away from the taller buildings, I'm not sure how that's being enforced and all those things. So we'll see. But
Yeah.
it's a start, and we're talking about it. And I know, when we run into people out in the community, they're really happy for this show, not only for our native uh, teachings and teaching everyone, but also our our sacred animal. I learned so much about Wendy's sacred animal portion too, and so it's exciting that we do this. We've been doing this for a long time now, and we're excited to be here and reach a mass audience and talk about Native issues, which we talk about our human issues.
Yeah. I want to give you guys a shout out. You guys had something big and exciting over the weekend. It was your wedding anniversary. So happy anniversary to you two, Robert and Wendy.
Thank you, Haley.
Thank you, Big Peeny Gigi. Wendy is still with me. She should get some kind of award or something, but
She deserves the biggest award.
we'll talk about that some other show. Hey, you're listening to Native Roots Radio presents. Oh well, we still have a minute. It looks like it's only.
That was a little early, so I was trying to get a little more conversation.
Well, I'm
in
going
there.
to turn the music down a little bit, and happy anniversary there, Wendy.
Yeah, happy anniversary, Robert. 23 years.
What does it feel like?
Wow.
23 minutes underwater.
Whoa.
23
You
minutes
have to hold
underwater.
your breath and all that stuff. Wow. Yeah. Well, you're a trooper. I'm your best husband so far.
Yep, I always say that.
Yeah. Hey, now we got the sign for 30 seconds left. Now we
Woo.
wasted 30 seconds on
We did it.
anniversary talk.
Worth it.
Right on. Hey, this is Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and we'll be right back after this short break.
Stay with us.
We are your relatives,
We are your relations,
brothers,
sisters,
sons.
daughters.
And some of us are your grandchildren.
We are your community. Historically, we held places of honor and respect. Because of the impact of colonization, some of us are rejected, thrown out from family, friends, and community, set up as targets for sexual violence, sex trafficked, humiliated, tortured, and murdered. Everybody has the right to be safe. We are your relatives. Remember,
Homophobia is not traditional.
Sponsored by the Minnesota Indian Women's Sexual Assault Coalition.
Hi, it's Robert Pilot from Native Roots Radio. If you need new windows for your home or business, I highly recommend 952 Windows. They offer windows and doors with the longest warranties and Energy Star's #1 most efficient ratings. I can personally vouch for them, having known the owner for decades. They did a fantastic job on our second floor addition 20 years ago, installing windows, roofing, siding, and even adding a master bedroom and bathroom. In my opinion, they're one of the most best kept secrets in remodeling. As Onyx Bath and Rosebud cabinet dealers, 952 Windows guarantees top quality products. Until now, 952 Windows thrived on referrals and the loyalty of satisfied Window Light customers. They continue to support these customers by providing warranty parts for the 80,000 windows sold since 1994. For unbeatable deals and trusted service on windows, doors, roofing, siding, kitchens, bathrooms, and more, call 952 Windows or visit 952windows.com.
Bonjour, hello. My name is Wabin. I am an enrolled member of the White Earth Nation, descendant of the Navajo Nation, and co-chair of the Indigenous Employee Resource Group with the Minnesota Department of Transportation. MnDOT is hiring for a variety of positions from road maintenance to accounting and more. We offer great benefits. For more information or to set up a one-on-one resume and application assistance, visit mn.gov/careers, or you can text or call 612-257-2388. 612-257-2388.
The city of Minneapolis is now on Native Roots Radio with Minneapolis AIR. AIR stands for American Indian Relations. Guest host Christine McDonald talks to people about important things affecting the city's Native communities. Minneapolis AIR dives into topics like public safety, public health, elections, and so much more. Tune in to Minneapolis AIR on Native Roots Radio from 5 to 6 p.m. on the second Wednesday of every month, right here on AM 950.
Welcome back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot.
This portion of the show is supported by Native American Community Clinic on Franklin Avenue in Minneapolis, honoring health and tradition.
Hey, it's a fun Monday here, and we got Wendy with us, and we also have Dr. Stately, who's president and executive officer at the Native American Community Clinic in Minneapolis. Was that the puppy that was
might have been
sneezing?
some sneezing.
Oh. Hey, welcome, Dr. Stately, and good to see you as always. And looks like at your palatial mansion out in
my palatial mansion. That's so funny. Yeah.
That was from the old days of Rich and Famous. Remember those old?
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gosh, that was like a series. Hey, back then. Who was the guy that did that?
Robin Leach? No.
Yeah, Robin Leach. I think it was Robin Leach.
It wasn't? Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous.
Right.
Yeah, with Robin Leach. Yeah.
We'd get kicked
It's hard.
out.
Yeah. We should do like an indigenous version of that. Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous bingo winners.
Yeah. Oh my God.
You could have like you could go and visit people in their trailers up on the res. You know.
Right. Well, I have
Yeah.
many medals from playing lacrosse and also completing the 5K that Ho Chunk always has every year. I get all these medals, so maybe we could like show off our medals.
Like in the elder category?
Yeah. I think they just gave it for showing up. But I always, for
nice.
always pretend to be running at the last, 100 yards.
Yeah.
Running with me a couple times.
I was running.
I would be one of those ones that like had my like family drive me and then drop me off nearby. Spray some water on myself, make it look like a sweater.
Yeah.
Like, it's so exhausting. Did I break the record?
Right, exactly. Well, I think it's just the award. Matter of fact, I have so many of the medals. This year I said I'll give it to somebody else because I'm trying to downsize.
Yeah, that's very generous of you. Do you have the ability to melt them down? Can you turn them into anything?
No, but
no,
but I wonder. No,
they're all plastic.
Oh, well, yeah. Well, there you go. You can melt those down for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know what you could make. I don't know what you could make out of them, but okay.
Something
Nice.
sacred,
Awesome.
I hope. Something sacred.
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah.
Well,
you know,
Dr. Stately, I don't know if you know this, but like our New York family, and even including Wendy, was not feeling well, and COVID's still a thing out there, and it's coming back.
I think, well, New York is like a big international like transit hub, isn't it? Too. So like, yeah. So I mean, I think I have a staff member or two that have gone traveling in the last couple of weeks, and they all came back and they're like, they're sick. Their whole families are sick, and it's not just like, a little bit of a cold. It's like they feel like they're, they have like, what do you call it, flu? The demonic kind, because one of my staff members told me that her son projectile vomited all over the house this morning, and I was like, oh, was it like Exorcist? And she was exactly, and I said, oh, it's demonic flu.
Yeah.
Wendy, you don't have that.
I don't have the flu, and I don't have COVID either. The doctor just said I have like an viral thing going on. My head is clogged. I feel like I'm underwater. My sister's sick, and my niece has COVID. So
Oh wow. I know that there's like a month ago they were talking in like a COVID update that I was in. They were talking about how there's two dominant strains now that are kind of like, I forget what the names of them are. They've had, I don't even think they had names for them. They had like numbers. But you know, the problem with it is that, you know, it's kind of like a smart virus. You know, apparently smarter than your average teenager because they figure out how to sort of like really stealthy. You know, they figure out a way to get into your system and like just knock you down. So, you know, maybe I'm being unkind. I'm talking about maybe just my twin, my teenagers.
Yeah, well, it's still going on, and you know, I was wondering. I just went and got a physical, and I thought, geez, they didn't give me a COVID shot, but I guess that's coming around in fall, right?
Yeah, so I think the plan is that during like right as people are normally preparing for things like going back to school, preparing for fall, the weather turning to cold, like the around the time you'd normally get like your flu shot, I think what they're gonna do is, and actually now I think I don't know what the name of the company is, and I probably wouldn't be able to say their name anyway because this is radio, but in the clinic a couple weeks ago we got some things, some samples of of tests that were sent to us that were like COVID and flu together combined, so you can like
Oh,
test for the same thing at the same time. Yeah, and I was like, well, how does it work if you have both? Would it gives a pot? And I would imagine it's possible to have both. Why wouldn't it be possible to have both? So anyway, it's kind of interesting. Like, you know, the technology keeps moving and changing with it, but I think the other thing that's like, you know, just imperative in this conversation is like recognizing that, like, you know, we're closing out our fourth solid year here soon of COVID and entering into our fifth year. And so this is kind of the nature, I think, of where we talked about this a couple of years ago, I think, or last year, maybe a year ago now. It's like this is going to become like what's known as an endemic, not a pandemic or an epidemic or a pandemic, but just endemic, meaning like it's just something that we all live with, kind of like the flu, kind of like, the cold, the seasonal cold, those kinds of things. And it's going to be something that we're going to be living with for a while. It might not be something that necessarily it won't necessarily be something we typically and normally die from or even get seriously sick unless people who are very vulnerable get it, right? That's kind of the nature of an endemic. And
it's
so
crazy.
I think that's what we have to look forward to for the next, I don't know, until the next thing comes along, which, oh, did you see God is coming through my window right here, right now?
Very angelic.
I know, right? Oh,
Your
that's
lighting director is awesome.
so sacred. It's funny, right?
Oh, wow. Well, I had COVID and it lasted forever. I had a rebound, or how did it go?
I remember that.
A drug, and then
Paxlovid. You took Paxlovid.
and then 5
Paxlovid,
days
yeah.
later when it was done, I regressed back to feeling sick. Now, Wendy, you've been sick for 7 days.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hear that the majority of people that are getting these respiratory things that, you know, look and act and behave like COVID but aren't testing positive for it. And anyway, my colleague that went to Norway and also spent some time in Iceland before they came home was she's a funny one, that one. She said I think that we just don't have the tests here in America to test for the European version of COVID. And I was like, well, I don't think it works that way, but but you know, it's like the thing is that if a strain mutates rapidly and quickly, I think probably it's possible that major components of it aren't caught by other tests that aren't designed necessarily to test for the antigens. So I don't know. I'm not an infectious disease specialist. I just, know that, I was an infectious disease specialist.
No, Wendy used to be.
Oh, she used to be, yeah. And it's everybody was during COVID, actually, quite frankly, if we're like being completely honest. It's like, they all had different opinions, which was confusing to people. But I would just say, like, it reifies and reinforces the idea of, like, if you're traveling and if you're on a plane, if you're like doing these things, it's like, the best thing to do is like, stay home. No, I'm just kidding. Or, wear a mask and, and those kinds of things. To be sure that you're trying to prevent yourself from getting sick. Because it seems like, to me, like lately, the newer episodes are lingering on for quite some time. They got a long tail,
Yeah. Hey, we're here with Dr. Stately, President and Executive Officer at Native American Community Clinic here in Minneapolis and Twin Cities, and with Wendy and Haley, and we'll be right back after this short break.
Stay with us.
Minnesota has the only original wolf population in the continental United States.
And 80% of Minnesotans believe the wolf should be protected.
Howling for Wolves is asking Minnesotans to respect our true wildlife manager, the wolf.
Their survival is critical to our ecosystems, our communities, and even our economy.
As highly intelligent animals with strong social bonds, Minnesota wolves deserve to be protected and admired.
Learn more at howlingforwolves.org. Let's live and let howl.
The city of Minneapolis is now on Native Roots Radio with Minneapolis AIR. AIR stands for American Indian Relations. Guest host Christine McDonald talks to people about important things affecting the city's Native communities. Minneapolis AIR dives into topics like public safety, public health, elections, and so much more. Tune in to Minneapolis AIR on Native Roots Radio from 5 to 6 p.m. on the second Wednesday of every month, right here on AM 950.
J&S Bean Factory is a Native-owned, community-supported, cozy, artsy coffee shop which offers roasted on-site beans, live music, and baked goods. Relax in the beautiful outside patio. City Pages writes, voted top 10 coffee shops. Tucked into a quiet corner of St. Paul's Highland Park neighborhood, this coffee shop roasts beans on-site from the best coffee-growing countries in the world. Located at 1518 Randolph Avenue, St. Paul. The good stuff.
I'm Rachel Schroman, owner of Schroman Law, and I believe you deserve information. Our firm offers free quarterly estate planning seminars at our office in St. Paul. At these seminars, you can learn the basics of estate planning from an attorney to help you determine which estate planning documents will meet your needs and goals in an efficient and cost-effective manner. You can learn more and register at our website, schromenlaw.com/events. That's SCHROMEN law.com/events.
AM 950, the progressive voice of Minnesota.
Hi, I'm Rachel Shamblatt. My dad is Dr. Scott Shamblatt from Shamblatt Family Dentistry. A lot of people are afraid of the dentist, but you don't have to be. My dad makes going to the dentist comfortable and even fun. He won't be mad if you haven't seen a dentist in a long time. He just wants to take care of you and your teeth. If you don't see my dad, please see another dentist. Take care of your teeth because they're the only ones you get.
Shamblatt Family Dentistry in Hopkins and St. Paul. Find them online at shamblattfamilydentistry.com or call 1-800-FIX-MY-TEETH.
No matter if you're eating out or cooking something at home, eatlocalminnesota.com has you covered with a list of locally owned restaurants and food purveyors. Locally owned Vinaigrette has been offering the finest olive oil and vinegar since 2009. Reintroduce yourself to all the many flavors by tasting before you buy. From darker white balsamic to cold-pressed extra virgin olive oil from all over the world, there is something for everyone. Vinaigrette, located at 50th and Xerxes in Minneapolis, or at vinaigrettemn.com. The Park Tavern is your go-to destination for fun. Enjoy the fantastic food like their pizzas, burgers, and sandwiches, the best bowling in Minnesota, their wildly popular outdoor patio, great drink specials, all the big games on their numerous screens, and it's the perfect place for your next private event, even large gatherings for over 200. The Park Tavern is your go-to destination for everyone. Have fun at the Park Tavern, Louisiana Avenue, north of Highway 7 in St. Louis Park.
With your AM 950 weather, I'm Patrick Lilia. Showers and thunderstorms tonight with a low of 51. Then Tuesday, more rain and storms possible with a high of 81. There is no better way to celebrate these best days of summer than with an Eat Local Minnesota restaurant or food purveyor. They make for a perfect night out for any occasion or a great meal at home. See the full list of Eat Local Minnesota restaurants and food purveyors at eatlocalminnesota.com.
Hi, this is Representative Sharice Davids from Kansas. I'm Ho Chunk, and you're listening to Native Roots Radio.
And we're back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot.
This portion of the show is supported by Native Concrete and Masonry. Check out their work at nativeconcretemasonry.com and give Chuck a call at 612-597-0421.
Hey, we are here with Dr. Stately, President and Executive Officer at Native American Community Clinic in Minneapolis here in the Twin Cities. And it's always our pleasure to have you on and just discuss what's going on. And, if I had a cold, Dr. Stately, and I had like a big debate, would that affect me?
I think you're affected when you don't have a cold and
for Dr. Stately here.
I'm just kidding. You might really do well against Joe Biden, actually, quite frankly.
Yeah.
I think so too.
I think there's a lot of things. I don't know, like, have you ever had a cold or a severe cold where you felt like, I have felt that way. Like I can't, like if I take cold medicine and I can't think clearly and a few other things. And I'm like, I'm 62 and he's what, 81. So like, he's I forget things all of the time. I forget the names of people I've known for 40 or 50 years when I'm introducing them to somebody, like we're at an event, I'd be like, and then because I have COVID, some COVID fog still. So like that.
Well, Wendy and
doesn't mean I'm ineffective at leading. I can still find my way to my car in my bathroom. I can find my car at the Mall of America, which I think is, practically as difficult as running the country.
Yeah. Well, I used to park always in the same spot or same area, so I'd never get lost. But Wendy and I used to have a thing where, Wendy, if I introduce you first, that means that I don't remember this person's name. So then you go, oh, I didn't quite catch your name. And then I go into acting mode and say, oh, I'm so rude. I meant to invite, right, Wen?
That's right. Now that everybody knows that.
Yeah, right.
They'll be able to call you out now. So it's your cat's out of the bag there, dude.
Names are hard though. They've always been hard for me.
Me too.
I think it's like also like we're at a place where we can just be like socially and be like, I'm sorry I forgot your name. I can't. I'm having a difficult time recalling here. Like I've been doing that lately. I just tell people like, I'm sorry I have a little bit of COVID brain.
I have to fake it because I learned something when I was teaching in school, and especially as our community changed and we had, first-time citizens come to high school, that the most important thing that a person owns is their name. So that's why Wendy and I have been doing the charade for 23 years about names.
Yeah, Robert, that's why you called your kids at school all different names.
I gave them nicknames.
Because you couldn't say their real names.
All right, now we're really getting deep here.
Wait, like they're twins. Two are twins. So like, did you mix those ones up?
Yeah, every once in a while I would say, what was it? Jalissa.
It's a really cute, funny story. I'm going to just say it really quickly. One of Robert's students, I don't even remember her real name, but Robert said, I'm going to call you Jenica. So then all the kids in the class started calling her Jenica. And then all the kids in the hallway called her Jenica. And then all the kids in the school called her Jenica. And when she got her school jacket,
Yeah.
The name that she had imprinted on it was Jenica.
Well, she came up to me and she was one of the underclass people that,
Isn't that cute?
we were going to go out and videotape. And she goes, "You don't even remember my name, do you?" And I said,
Mhm.
"Yeah, it's Jenica."
Yeah.
So Jessica.
That person is a relative of mine, and that she's been in therapy for quite some time because of that.
Story, like, that name, her name embroidered
On her
on
athletic
her
jacket.
jacket because
Her-
it was a name that was endearing, you know.
Oh yeah, that's sweet. Oh
Yeah,
Yeah,
she did it herself.
because everyone
Oh, that's
started
really
calling
cool.
her Jenica after that.
Oh, okay.
Because
I
Mr.
thought they did it
Pilot,
like a mistake or something.
because Mr.
Oh.
Pilot was a dum dum, and everyone started calling her Jenica, and then it became her nickname. And then she loved it, and she put it on her
Mhm.
letter jacket and a couple other athletic
Mhm.
things that she had her name on. So yeah, it
Mm.
was a fun story.
Wow.
She's in therapy now, though, I imagine.
Yeah, working through all the, shame, frustration, you know, mistrust.
Oh my God.
Misidentity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Haley, easy.
Like thinking that she's thinking that she
Haley
has
hasn't
the
said anything.
personality disorder or multiple personality disorder. Like maybe I am Jenica.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Wow. Is
So
this
Jenica, if you're out there listening to us, make sure you call in next week, okay? Because we want to hear your
Yeah.
story here, hon.
Definitely.
I want to hear how things are going. I think I am Facebook friends with her. Maybe I'll reach out and say, "Hey,
Sweet
Dr.
Jesus.
Stacy wants to talk to you."
Yeah. Maybe
Yeah.
she changed her Facebook name to Jenica.
Haley's on a
I'm
roll.
gonna look that up. I'm
Everything
gonna
all
look that
show,
up
and she's
actually.
attacking me now. What the heck? I almost said hell.
Cool.
Oh. Yeah, what else, Haley?
I mean, not much. I just am getting over my little weekend of recovering from that very
you-
embarrassing presidential debate.
Oh gosh. Well, there's a part of me, I have really mixed feelings about it because I have like friends who are just like, oh my God, he needs to drop out of the race. And oh my God. And I was like, really? Does he really? Like, okay, so like that's a reasonable thing. I was like, even so, like, here's the thing that I think that is probably that no one has said yet. Nobody has said this yet. So I'll be possibly the first one to say it. Like, even if he is like mentally, sort of diminished, and even if he is having some other challenges, like, shaky voice, and at least he can be, at least he's like, he must be native because he makes fun of himself all the time. So that's a really good thing. He's not like completely incapacitated. And here's the other thing that I was just talking to somebody about the other day is like, do you think that this idea that people have, like, this is the thing that's challenging for me, is like this idea that people have, like, the president actually runs the entire country. The president doesn't actually run the entire country. The president has like competent people that they hire and that they appoint and that they make, and that they have an entire cabinet. They have like a workforce of like thousands of people that help them to sort of make good decisions and keep them well informed. It's like, and in comparison, the other guy, the orange one, like appointed his own family members and a bunch of other incompetent people, and thusly made a lot of incompetent decisions. Like, it's possible that Trump is like not as stupid as we all think. He just maybe surrounded himself with stupid people, which is like, a whole other issue. I mean, I think, I've been president of my company now for about 4 years, and what I've learned in that role is like, I can't run it. I don't know every single thing about running a health center, and I just don't. But I know how to identify people with a set of skills and some talent, and I can identify when people are committed and they work hard, and they have morals and ethics and principles and all these things that go into sort of leadership. I can identify those skill sets and those talents and those characteristics. And so what I do is I pull those people into my team because I need, in order for me to quote unquote look good and not look like incompetent in public, I need somebody to help me with that.
Exactly.
Hey, You know,
Just
this idea
because
people are kicking around is crazy.
just because you think Alfred is too old to take care of the Batcave, you don't replace him with the Joker. You know, and
No,
people that are
exactly.
complaining to me never were going to vote for Biden. So what
Yeah,
up?
no, exactly. And I think the other thing, I think some of the things that I'm bothered by are a couple of different things. One is like I come from a culture that happens to sort of like value people who are older,
Right.
right? Who understand like he's lived a long time, he's seen a lot of things, he's pretty wise. You know, he's done a pretty remarkable job with the economy considering where we were at. Like at that whole
Right.
conversation they had about the economy, I was like, wait, like yes, you know, you made this massive, huge, like what, $10 trillion deficit, the largest deficit we've ever had from any sitting president in the history of of our nation. And so then I'm like, so some of this stuff just wasn't adding up, and I was like, and sadly enough, like one narrative is I have heard a couple times is like, well, you know, he wasn't even on the ball, and you didn't even like challenge him on some of those things, and you could have like really took him to task and a few other things. It's like, well, have you ever been sick and wanted to like go into a dogfight when you were sick? It's like Jesus, like
Yeah.
you know, give like, and I get it. It's like it's the biggest championship fight of every 4 years we have this process. But I think the challenge that I have is like two things. I sort of kind of read the undertones there about like, how like, oh, they're too old to be, to be of any service. It's like, well, in the indigenous communities, we value our elders. We actually listen to their counsel
Right.
and we listen to their stories, and we glean really important information and make decisions based on that. And we actually seek out that elder wisdom, right? So I had a challenge with that. And I think the other under the surface conversation is like people are like, well, I'm really concerned about Camilla, and like, what if he dies in office and Camilla takes over? It's like, what would that be such a horrible thing? We'd have the first Black woman president in the entire history of the United States. But I think that people aren't willing to be transparent and open about their racism and also their misogyny.
Exactly. Exactly. And
So
we
we want to call it something different, right? Because we
Right.
think that, or a lot of people in the country think that only a younger white male can lead the country, right? And
Right.
look where they've gotten us thus far,
I just got to say, Dan Quayle. Just 2 words.
right? Was
You
it potato or potato or what was it? Something.
How do you spell
yeah.
it, right?
Yeah.
Well, Dr. Stately, we appreciate you jumping on. We know you're a busy person, and I just have to say this: that Trump made 30 false claims. We like to call them lies, where I was brought up during the debate. So there is that, and we just lost Dr. Stately. But thanks for being on, Dr. Stately, and
Thank you.
wherever you are.
Ciao.
Oh, there you are.
I'm
Good to
here behind this timestamp sign that's up on the.
Hey, Native Roots Radio up next. Wendy in our Sacred Animal section.
Stay with us.
Bonjour, hello. My name is Wabin. I am an enrolled member of the White Earth Nation, descendant of the Navajo Nation, and co-chair of the Indigenous Employee Resource Group with the Minnesota Department of Transportation. MnDOT is hiring for a variety of positions from road maintenance to accounting and more. We offer great benefits. For more information or to set up a one-on-one resume and application assistance, visit mn.gov/careers, or you can text or call 612-257-2388. 612-257-2388.
Minnesotans age 65 plus might qualify for Health Partners Minnesota Senior Health Options. The plan includes personal support, coverage for medical, prescription drugs, and dental, plus over 30 extra benefits. Eligibility information is available at healthpartners.com/oneplan. Health Partners is a health plan that contracts with both Medicare and the Minnesota Medical Assistance Medicaid program to provide benefits of both programs to enrollees. Enrollment in Health Partners depends on contract renewal.
Imagine over 7,000 voices from around the globe coming together in harmony in Minneapolis. This summer, Gala Choruses Festival 2024 comes to Minnesota. It's the world's largest LGBTQ plus singing event. From July 10th through 14th, Minneapolis will be transformed into a vibrant city of song. Join 122 courses from places as far as China, Estonia, Finland, Ukraine, and Taiwan for 5 unforgettable days of wall-to-wall concerts, workshops, and social events at world-class venues like Orchestra Hall, the Minneapolis Convention Center, and Central Lutheran Church. One standout event not to miss is the free Choral Carnival on Friday, July 12th. Experience excitement as downtown Minneapolis comes alive with 45 to 60-minute rotating performances. Feel the energy in person by purchasing tickets at galacourses.org or stream every performance live and on demand at galacourses.org. Celebrate love, diversity, and the power of music at Gala Courses Festival 2024, where every voice matters. July 10th through 14th in downtown Minneapolis.
You're listening to Native Roots Radio. This is Spirit from Reservation Dogs. Get up and listen.
Welcome back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot.
This portion of the show is supported by Howling for Wolves, protecting wolves for future generations.
Enough.
Okay, good. Good. Very strong, healthy wolf right there.
That's a long breath.
That's from all those days of playing the brass instrument and trumpet and things like that. Hey, I want to introduce my awesome and beautiful wife, Wendy. Wendy's been an animal advocate for many years, and she's been here on 8 years here on Native Roots Radio talking about our sacred animals, and it's great to have you on. And I see you have no notes, so I'm excited to hear what you have to say.
Yeah. Hey, everybody. My name is Hanajihihani. That means cares for them. I was given that name by my Daga Curtis. Curtis goes by Mashke Hanajinga, which means walks on white clouds. I'm a humane policy volunteer leader for the Humane Society of the United States, and I work on animal issues at the local and state level, and it's always my pleasure to do that. And I just want to remind everyone to please make sure your fences are secure and your kitties and dogs will be inside for the 4th of July.
Oh, God.
Yeah, the most dogs go missing on the 4th of July than any other time in the whole year. Even the most well-behaved and well-trained dog will sometimes get freaked out and dart and just leave and run. So just really get their tags in order, put their name tags on with your information on it. Keep them in the house where it's nice and cool. Put the AC on, some
A fan, maybe.
play an old album that you think that they'd like on repeat.
Play
And,
Lassie,
just,
the best of
yeah, put some noise on so they don't have to hear the loud noise. So yeah, it's
I
really
have a-
hard.
I have a
It's
question.
really hard too for people who have PTSD too. I just want to say that military who really these sounds are deafening to them. So
Brings back a lot
yep,
of trauma.
yeah.
Are you planning on, and I know because we fly a lot with the dog now,
Mhm.
are you planning on giving her anything for the 4th of July?
Oh, well, if we're home with her, I think if it's going to rain and we're going to be home, I think she's fine.
Mm-hmm.
I might give her a little bit. Yeah, that's a good idea. Maybe just to take the edge off.
Right.
Because you have separation anxiety on top of, being afraid of thunder and loud noises. So that's a good idea. We should probably do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems to be pretty effective, but she's a pretty hyper dog for 15 or 16 years
Well,
old.
she's just turned 14 on May 5th.
Oh, 14?
14. Well, we think she's 14. We don't really know for sure.
Oh.
Yeah. Did you know those little bees that you see in the evening sitting on flowers are old bees? Yeah, old and sick bees don't return to the hive at the end of their day. They spend the night on flowers, and if they have the chance to see another sunrise, they resume their activity by bringing pollen and nectar to the colony. They do this sensing that their end is near. No bee wants to die in the hive so as not to burden the others. So next time you see an old little bee sat upon a flower as the night closes in, thank the little bee for her life of long service.
Wow.
Yeah, I didn't know that. Yeah, so at nighttime, if you see a bee on a flower, that's at the end of their life. Yeah.
Jeez. How
Here's-
long do bees live?
I don't think they live very long. I mean, I have to look it up, but I think it's just like a couple of months. Like they don't live very long. Things only crazy dog people do. Do you want to hear what they do?
Yeah.
Ask one dog where the other one is when you can't find them. We used to do that, right? When we had Mickey and Poncho, I used to hear Robert say to Mickey, Mickey, where's Poncho? Right? It's not a lie. People do that.
God. I didn't remember that.
That's true.
Okay.
Here's a little meme on that I found. I've been looking for
Oh
these
my
memes and they're so funny. So there's this dog and a little baby crawling on all fours, and the dog says, "Don't listen to them. You're already walking just fine."
I like that one.
That was a great explanation of that joke.
There was this dog. I read this story. I'm really excited about talking about this dog. So this is the Denver Boulder Turnpike dog. Denver Boulder Turnpike dog. Shep, that was the name of the dog. He became famous in history as a highway mascot who greeted motorists at the toll booths on the Denver Boulder Turnpike. In 1950, during the construction of the Boulder-Denver Turnpike, a stray puppy wandered into the site where the workers would share bits of food with him. And in 1952, when the turnpike opened to the motorists and the construction workers left, the timid dog began begging for food from the toll booth attendants. And one cold night, one of the attendants working was able to coax the dog into his booth. The dog found a warm space to lay down, and the attendant found company to better his night. Soon the dog was named Shep. They became close friends with all the attendants, and Shep loved his new home, and the motorists were thrilled to be greeted by the dog. In fact, drivers would pay a little extra to help buy dog food, give dog toys and treats, and even pull over to have their picture taken with Shep. It didn't take long for the Colorado Department of Transportation to make Shep the highway's unofficial mascot. Despite all the love and attention Shep received, he still liked to roam off on his own and at times, but would always return. One day in 1958, he returned limping after he was mysteriously shot.
Oh.
Yeah, Clyde Bruner, a Broomfield veterinarian, treated the dog for free and continued to donate his service for the rest of Shep's life. In 1964, Shep was losing his sight and could barely get around. On August 3rd, at the end of the year, the men who loved and cared for him made the difficult decision to put Shep to sleep. Yeah, the highway superintendent buried Shep next to US 36 on ramp. 2 headstones were donated by residents, one with the inscription, Shep, 1950 to 1964, part shepherd, mostly affection. Yeah, and the other, our pal, some suggested getting another toll booth dog, but one attendant insisted nobody could take the Shep's place ever. The extra money the motorist paid, which was more than enough to feed and care for Shep, went towards the cost of the turnpike. In 1967, the turnpike was paid off 13 years earlier than originally expected. In 2009, due to the ongoing construction, Shep's grave was moved to Zang Spur Park next to the Bloomfield Depot Museum. He always wagged his tail at everyone who came by and was always happy, said Jane Spain, who helped lead the effort to move Shep's grave. For everyone that went back and forth on the turnpike, he was their favorite thing. And here's a picture of Shep. Yeah, so this was a Facebook post, and there were a lot of people who said that they made a special trip to Zane Spur Park next to the Bloomfield Depot Museum just to see his memorial.
Wow.
Yeah. Isn't that
Wow.
cute? It's a cute little story
That is
about a
cute.
little dog that was homeless, and then he found a home. Yeah. So there's a meme here with a face of a donkey, and it says two things to make your day better. Number 1, do not watch the news.
Oh.
2, stay off the bathroom scales. I know, right?
That was
So
a random.
here's a guy at the doctor's office, and the nurse walks in, and she's got a dog on a leash. So she says to the guy, "Low energy, depressed. You can try B12, but we have a lot of luck with K9."
Oh, that's
I
funny.
get it.
Yeah.
That was good, Wendy. Thank you so much. And thanks for coming on, and happy anniversary.
Yeah, happy anniversary.
It's been 23 years of heaven for me. I'm sorry. I just have to say I'm sorry. Hey, Native Roots Radio. We're still here. We are the 7th generation.
Free Leonard Peltier.
Now.
God